Good research starts with good questions. I don't pretend we have all the answers, but the questions are certainly worth thinking about. Arthur C. Clarke. Research has always been a part of product development and design, as showcased by the previous chapter. In today's world, we are no longer restricted to a single community, population, or geographical location. Modern products span the globe, sometimes in very unexpected ways. Products may shift in goals and use over time, and it is through research that the necessary adjustments are identified. For teams to conduct meaningful research and collect data that allows quick iterations, you must start with an idea of what type of questions you want to ask. Not all questions are created equal, though, and it is helpful to understand what makes a good question and a good research initiative. If you've ever learned something from another person, you know that asking good questions is more craft than science. In this chapter, we discuss this craft and provide methods you can use to create questions that help you learn specific topics and remove factors such as personal and unconscious bias. We also provide a short exercise you can perform to quickly iterate through potential questions to ask about how someone might want to interact with the product. Why are good questions so hard? Researchers always struggle when it comes to writing down the questions they need to ask their participants. Sure, this gets easier over time and with experience, but the act of writing an interview guide or test plan never gets easy. At the end of the day, we are all human and we are susceptible to our own weaknesses and limitations. The deck is stacked against us when you start to consider social, personal, professional, and sometimes logistical factors that can inhibit our ability to have a conversation with someone else. Predicting all these factors before research even starts is no small feat. This in turn makes writing down lines of inquiry that will result in good, useful data seem daunting. But you have to start somewhere and iterate as you learn what questions work and which fall flat. To help you with this, first we need to discuss what role questions fulfill when you're conducting any type of research. The role of questions in research. It's hard to conduct research when you don't know what question needs to be answered. Every research effort starts with you needing to know why something happens, what people do in certain circumstances, and how they perform key tasks. To answer these questions, we must find people to talk to and phrase our questions effectively to get to the heart of the matter. Otherwise, we would be making wild guesses and shooting in the dark. While that's often tempting, this degree of freedom leads to failure, and your product never seeing the light of day. How good questions go wrong. We can't tell you how many times we've written down a question and thought, this is it. This will get us some awesome information from people, only to have it fall flat during a session. This happens to all researchers, and it will happen to you. And that's okay. Bad questions can be mitigated through the planning phase if you know what makes a question go bad. The following factors can lead to misinformed or poor research results. Leading questions. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of research. This can trick you into asking questions that give participants a clue or directly point them to the type of answer you're looking for. These are called leading questions, and they can hinder your research session and the data collected. An example of a leading question would be asking, how do you use Outlook to communicate your work status? A better alternative would be, how do you communicate your work status? The second question allows more responses than leading the participant to describe a specific use of email. Research participants want to be helpful and want to provide value to your team. Since they are primed to help, if you ask a question that implies the type of answer you want, they are more likely to give you that answer, even if it doesn't really apply to them. Shallow questions. One golden rule of research is never ask yes or no questions. When creating questions for an upcoming research effort, you will find avoiding these questions is hard. Yes-no questions are harmful because they give participants an easy out. The question, do you use Yammer for team discussions, can quickly be answered and dismissed. Participants don't have to think deeply to respond, and they are giving you confirmation that may or may not be useful. A better question is, how do you communicate with your team throughout the day?